to the Season of Self-Love, your daily dose of inspiration and encouragement. I'm your host, Nyomi and I am thrilled to be here with you today. This podcast is brought to you by Ask Nyomi and Elevate Me Self-Discovery. Are you ready to elevate your mindset and embrace the power of self-love? Well, have you come to the right place? Each day we'll dive into topics that will empower and inspire you on your journey towards self-discovery and personal growth. Whether you're looking to cultivate healthy relationships, boost your confidence, or find balance in your life, this podcast is here to support your every step on the way. We believe that self-love is the foundation of living a fulfilled and joyful life. And together we explore practical tips, insightful interviews, and transformative stories that will leave you feeling inspired and motivated. So join me Monday through Friday as we embark on this daily adventure of self-love. Tune in to the Season of Self-Love podcast to start your day on a positive note and discover the limitless potential within yourself. Well, hey, my beautiful people, and welcome to the Season of Self-Love podcast. I'm your host, Nyomi, and today is Thursday, April 11, 2024. Yes, you ready for this? You know, April is all about affirmations, right, y'all? And the affirmations today, this is something that we really need. You know, we always talk about declutter. We talked about declutter in, with our self-care and stuff like that. But this time, we talk about I declutter. The affirmation is I declutter my life and mind to invite inner peace and clarity. And today, joining us is my wonderful co-host, our resident therapist, Dr. Will is here to help us along with this conversation. You ready for this one, Dr. Will?
Yeah. I am wise and wonderful.
Wise and wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Wise. I like that. Wise and wonderful. Yes. So for you, no, let's not do that. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break and then we're going to come back. We're going to go a little deeper into what this decluttering is, what this affirmation means. Let's kind of, peel the onion. I don't want to say peel the onion, but let's take the layers from different onions and figure what this is all about. All right. It's your girl, you got us, Nyomi Banks, here on the Season of Self-Love podcast, and we will be right back.
Get ready to bloom and blossom this April with Season of Self-Love. It's a month filled with daily affirmations designed to uplift and empower you on your self-love journey. Join us as we delve deeper into these affirmations and learn how they can positively impact your daily life. Hosted by the insightful Nyomi Banks, each episode promises to be an incredible affirmation experience. Plus, we're thrilled to have our resident therapist, Dr. Will Washington, joining us to provide expert guidance and support. Tune in daily to the Season of Self-Love podcast and let's discover together the power of self-love, affirmation, and personal growth. Don't miss out on this transformative journey. Subscribe now and start blooming into the best version of yourself. The Season of Self-Love podcast, where every day is an opportunity for growth and self-love.
All right, well, welcome back. It's your girl, the goddess, Nyomi Banks, here on the Season of Self-Love podcast. And today we're talking about decluttering for inner peace and clarity by embracing simplicity in a chaotic world. And we all know right now this world is so chaotic with everything that's going on. So we're talking about the affirmation is I declutter my life and mind to invite inner peace and clarity. So the thing is, while everything else around us is going crazy, how can we make this peaceful right here? This right here, Dr.
That thing right there's a lot of things.
Man.
We're only using 10% of it, if that.
See?
Consciously.
Yes. So this is what I want to do. So before we really just kind of get deep down into this topic right here, I want to go ahead and do a nice meditation just to get us grounded before we get deep into this conversation. All right. Find a comfortable seated position or lie down in a quiet and peaceful space. Now I want you to close your eyes and begin by taking a few deep breaths in, allowing your body to relax with each exhale. Now I want you you to notice those thoughts that arise in your mind like clouds drifting in the sky. And I want you to allow them to come and go without holding on to them. Now imagine yourself standing in a beautiful forest, and I want you to visualize a clearing in front of you, a space where the sunlight filters through the leaves, illuminating that area. Now, as you continue to breathe deeply, I want you to imagine that each thought that arises, transforming into a leaf, and see these leaves gently falling from the trees around you, symbolizing the release of cluttered thoughts from your mind. Now shift your focus onto your breath. Notice the sensation of air entering and leaving your body. Now let each breath bring a sense of calm and clarity to your mind like a gentle breeze, clearing the remaining leaves. Now I want you to repeat silently after me. I let go of cluttered thoughts. My mind is clear and peaceful. I represent in this moment. I want you to take a moment just to express gratitude for this opportunity to declutter your mind and create a space of inner peace and clarity. Now, when you are ready, I want you to slowly bring your awareness back to the present moment. I want you to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And I want you to gently open your eyes. Yes. All right. All right, my beautiful people, if you're new here to the Season of Self-Love podcast, it's something that we do every day, Monday through Fridays, to help to ground us, to prepare us for our topic in hand that we're talking about on this podcast. And today we're talking about decluttering our life, declutter our mind, so we can just get it all ready to go. And so the affirmation today is, I declutter my life and mind to invite inner peace and clarity in it. Yes. So let me tell you about this affirmation. My mind goes a lot. Yeah, it's just so much stuff in there. And I had this moment the other day when I'm driving in a car, and I'm going to share this with you all. When I'm driving this car, I always jump. Even when I'm driving, I'm jumping, at different cars. This move. Yeah. And the other day, I was sitting at a red light. I was taking my baby to school, and they're doing construction on the street. And so now, instead of it being 4 lanes, it's only 2 lanes, and it's all on one side. And so where I live at, it's a big high school there. So this big old school bus, I'm watching this school bus as it's turning the corner really fast, and I'm right there at the stop sign. Usually I'll jump, like this, like cringing at that. And I just watched the bus as it was so. Matter of fact, I just came out of meditation probably like 20 minutes before then. And this is what I said to myself in that meditation at that moment right there. I was like, what it is what it will be. What it is what it will be. Meaning that I'm just going to live and today, whatever happens is supposed to happen. So if that bus would have hit me, it was supposed to happen. So what am I supposed to do? You understand what I'm saying? So instead of me thinking, because I would think about 5 or 6 different scenarios on what would happen if that bus hit. And on this day, I just watch. I turn like this and watch, because I'm trying to see if he gonna get it, if we gonna be able to turn this corner. And I was just looking, and when he got past it, so then I go a little further down. And this car and this truck, like almost hit each other like this. Usually I'll jump. I didn't. I was just driving. I was like, it was just so peaceful. It was like I wasn't thinking about, like, it was just like, it is. And I'm going to share this with you all. And you're going to be like, really, Naomi, you really felt that way? I felt like I'm not afraid to die. Not saying that I want to kill myself or nothing like that. It was just like, I'm so at peace right now. Like,
You grounded yourself, definitely.
yes.
Yeah. Wow.
And it was like just this affirmation. I was like, okay, how can we bring that inner peace into where I was feeling at that moment? You know what I'm saying? At that time. And I remember my baby, he asked me, he said, how does that feel? I said, it feel good. He said, so what are you thinking now? And let me tell you what I did. I said, I don't want this feeling to go away. And so it was like, how can I not let that feeling go away?
Wow. That's actually, it's about turning your healing into a lifestyle, which is the foundation of all my work. It's about turning your healing into a lifestyle so that you never have to think about what you need to heal from. You think about how to live in the fluidity of your own promise.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of people jump in their life, metaphorically speaking, and we don't recognize what we jump from. Just earlier when we were talking, I told you what I was triggered by, right? Me being triggered. It's not the fact that I don't trust people. It's just I don't like when people don't consider. Right. And so I had to reel myself up and recognize what my changes are. How do I keep my peace? I also have to have the language to acknowledge my own triggers too. And that helps me continue my inner peace and my clarity. It allows me to maintain that.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. When I say it's been so many amazing things that have been revealed to me. When they come, when they be coming, they be coming. When they come and I sit in it and I smile. Why I smiled? Because I said, okay, I get it. I understand. Even with the situation last week, I understood what that was. I didn't beat myself up about it. Nothing. I can only be me. I cannot allow anybody to change me or who my heart is. I want to be true to who I am. And so if someone questioned my integrity, I know that's not my integrity they're questioning. They're questioning their own. So is there really healing that has been done? There's more healing that needs to be done. What did I reveal to that person that they did not like about themselves? Was it my authenticity? Was it my truth? Or was it truly that natural shine?
I want to add one more thing to that. Or what do you represent in something that they didn't have in themselves? Because you also represent people's timeline as well. I've met people where they've told me that I remind them of a part of them that they never got to, or they behind, or they lost, or they feel like they lost. And so sometimes you remind people of the things that they're not. We reflect each other many times.
Yeah. Yeah. There was something that you had said the last show, and I believe it was more, and I know we said we were going to talk about it on another show, but I wanted to kind of get into this too, because I think this kind of will help with the clarity and peace as well. I think a lot of times, especially when we're going through this process, this healing process, this journey, and being in the moment, is that we do carry a lot of old unwanted baggage. But then that unwanted baggage that we do carry too, we use that as weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And in that process, when we in these different relationships, whether friends or foes, and as you're growing, you don't see those other people growing. And we talked about this. I'm about to go all around, but we talked
Mm-hmm.
about last week about survivor's remorse. And so we
Mm-hmm.
stay there because we feel a sense of guilt or a sense of, I know what they have in them. I know, what we feel what they have in them, that they don't even see themselves. But what happens is that we get mad at them because they can't see us for who we are right now. But how can they see us for who we are right now, and they can't even see themselves? So it's like, what I learned is that I can't keep looking for myself in others. I have to respect, appreciate, and honor who they are and where they are in that moment now. That was a part of my clutter in my mind, is because even
Mm-hmm.
though I want to heal the world, but I know that I can't do that, but trying to take everybody and solve all their problems in that way. No. Now I have to find another way to be able to do it through me, through my healing. So me sharing this story right here about me, I used to jump at every, now I don't. Just because I
Mm-hmm.
said those few words is that what is going to be is going to be. I have no control over any of those things. None. I just know I am 10 toes down and living the best life that I can right now.
Yeah. I love how you said that. And I also, this is going to sound weird, but sometimes honoring somebody else is actually leaving them alone.
No, that sound about right. Sorry.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I got that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ditto.
Ditto. Ditto. Sometimes we don't recognize that we actually cause harm by being present with people that never wanted to even be with themselves.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And it messes up our clarity. It messes up our peace. It makes
Yes.
the simple things confusing and complex.
Yes.
And things become chaotic because they have no order.
None. 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 That was quick.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
The end. Well, I want to talk about the word declutter, and I want to know why you chose it, because I'm curious how you define it and how you saw it, and I want to kind of go through that because that's a very unique word that you chose. Um, Not many people would use decluttering as a way to describe um, their journey to inner peace and clarity. So
Mhm.
I'm very curious how you made that foundation and connection.
For me, I have many lives within this life. I have many lives within this life. And then within that life, in these lives, I've accumulated a lot of things, both materialism, and also spiritual, emotional,
Hmm.
energy. Um, I've been known to solve people problems. I've been known, I got it. She got it. She got it. Um, my closet is cluttered with things. I go in there and throw away a lot of things at times that is not of who I am right now. So when I say about decluttering, that means the thoughts. There's no longer a line of who I am right now. And that's letting go of parts of the old versions of me that's no longer of service for me. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of it was geared in fear. A lot of it was geared in not feeling like I'm not valued or I'm not worthy enough. A lot of it was geared of not being safe. You know what I mean? Taking that word abandonment and making it more of my strength than of victim that I was like this little baby little child that was left at a grandmother's house for 2 or 3 years. I do understand all of that now. Um, now that I know what those words mean to me. And I know I say this a lot and I have to keep going back to that book, The Four Agreements, about using your words impeccably. When they say words are powerful, words are magic. But also it's the intent behind the words when you speak those words. So instead of me speaking the word abandonment in a negative way, no, that was my strength. That allowed me to be who I am today. You understand what I'm saying? And so when I think about the words now, even within the affirmations that we use, that we create, because we create these affirmations for what went into within our lives. You know what I'm saying? And for me, that is about decluttering, because I had a lot of things, going on in my life, trying to be number one all the time, rushing, you know what I'm saying? Trying to be perfect. Remember, I'm recovering perfectionist. So when you think about all of those things, it becomes to clutter your mind to where you don't have peace. Because even though you ain't got nothing going on in your life, you still thinking about what A, B, C, D, E, F, G got going on in their life that you have no control over. When they make a choice and decision for their life, that is what it is. So who am I to sit here and stress on that situation and I can't take care of over here? Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I'm curious, what comes first for you, inner peace or clarity?
So let me say this, and I'm going to be real. Clarity and then peace. Yeah. Because I need to have the clarity to know what that is. Because now it's giving me now I have a choice. I have chosen, because now I can see. I've removed it. Now I can see. Things are clear. Everything. Now I see the path. So now I choose to walk that path with peace. With peace.
I love that. And I think even as your listeners are understanding the way you're decluttering, you're taking a lot of action. And a lot of us don't have that resilience to declutter, because usually decluttering means that there are people, places, and things that have become constructs or obstructions in our life. And it means that you have to do the work of clarity. To do the work of clarity, to honor the inner peace. I believe we all have our inner peace.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to find inner peace. I think we all have it. I think that because of how we live our lives, we become unclear and we lose our clarity. And then we do decluttering as a way to reinforce the lack of, discernment that's needed for clarity. Right. And so I noticed that for me, when I was listening to you, I was thinking about all the things that I didn't do for myself to not live in my clarity. Even something as simple as me losing weight, right? There are things I have to declutter. The way I eat my food, when I eat my food, understanding why I'm eating my food this way. I had to declutter my mindset, my expectations, my standards, my obligations. All these things I have to declutter because these things are obstructions to what is clear to me. So that's why I was very inspired by the way you just spoke, because I realized that decluttering is the process to having options.
Mm.
And when you have options, you have clarity.
Yeah.
Because typically clarity doesn't mean one choice. It means that you understand you have options.
Mm-hmm.
And the inner peace is knowing that if you choose one, something bad's going to happen. Inner peace is having peace. I hate to say the same word, but inner peace is understanding that peace is the lifestyle you're living as a result of your clarity.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, I like that. I'm curious. This might be a weird question to ask you, but um, do you ever find where do you typically find decluttering when you're trying to go on a healing journey? Where do you usually start?
To be very honest, I start in my heart.
Mm. That's a really awesome, easy, complex answer.
You want me to tell you why I start in my heart?
100%. Yeah, because now again, my brain's spinning. My brain was like this. My brain was like, she said, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know why? And it's gonna go back to the conversation we had. I don't know if we had it or if we had it yesterday on or was it off. But when we were talking about self-love, we were
Mm-hmm.
talking about self-love. And a lot of the clutter that why I started in my heart is because I didn't think I was worthy to be with my mom and them. And that was my sense of abandonment from there. And that was the lack of love that I thought that I wasn't getting from them. I mean, they didn't just abandon me. That
Mm-hmm.
wasn't it. But me as a child, that is what I carried with me through my adult. So when I do go through there, I think about what it feels right here. And then it moves up.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, that's what more things that I work on now. I work on my crown chakra and my third eye. That's what I work on more now, is because I've done a lot of work on my heart. You know, now it's all about trusting and removing the blockage that was caused from that trauma, you know, um,
Mm-hmm.
from that. That will help, like, come from here, 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 and it was always here first, then it'll go here. It'll miss this totally, all of this, it was just here and here. And I really couldn't see. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I think that the fact that you could see you have that intuition, right? And that intuition, you trusted that.
Yeah.
You used the power of your own vulnerability to reach that intuition and to trust the intuition. And I feel like when you're in the process of not really doing your own healing work, that intuition and vulnerability can almost feel like enemies or oppositions or adversaries, because you've learned to untrust yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it warps the way that you create a bond,
Mm-hmm.
and you create promise in yourself to do those things that you're naturally doing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to. I'm. So now I'm kind of curious. Do you think that? Do you believe that the world is really chaotic?
Okay, so I know this with the naked eye, yes. Until they are able, until this world is truly able to heal and know what, and I know you like, for real, Naomi, gonna say this. Yes, when they know what self-love is and they have that intimate relationship with themselves, it's gonna always be chaotic. Really. You say it best when you say hurt people, and healed people help people. It's more hurt people out there that's hurting people than the healed people, because the hurt people don't think they need to be healed. And a lot of the healed people, some of them don't want to share their stories so those hurt people can see them in their healing. They need to know, and you said it before. You just said it. People need to see that hurt that you went through so they can know that you are healed. It was some, so let me say this. It's a little bit off topic, but it's not. The other day, beautiful Miss Cinnamon Love, she was at a college university, and she was speaking. And the lady was announcing her credits, and she was saying that she was a feminist, pornography, and she such and such. And as soon as she said feminist pornography, you heard oh, and when I heard that oh, I smiled so big, because I saw that beautiful woman sitting there with her head up high, and her representing all of me and all of her and all of us in that moment. And it was just like, I saw it. I saw like, oh yeah, we about to do this. That is what I saw. And I said, thank you. I said, thank you for walking in this like that. Thank you for representing us like this. That showed me that, yes, I will be able to do it my way, the way that you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That wasn't nothing but another confirmation for me.
Yeah.
That helps with my clarity,
Yeah. And I think when I think about like that moment, the ownership to accept that even my degrees, I have like 3 or 4 degrees. I have about 8 different certifications. Yeah, I'm smart. I get it. But I work hard. But when I look at those degrees, I just see clutter.
Mm.
And it's hard for me to just say it so bluntly, but I have to. I see clutter because I think of how much my heart has always done this work for other people. Like you said, right? You said you chose your heart. I also choose my heart. Yes, I use my mind to get through school, but it was my heart that allowed me to do this work of healing that I've been doing. I just get to call it psychology. I get to call it I'm a therapist. I get to call it I'm a hypnotherapist. I get to call I'm doing those things. But the truth is that the clarity is that I'm a healer and I love people. That's my inner peace, is that I love people.
Yeah.
Right. And, clutter doesn't have to be something negative or dirty or, something in the corner. Clutter are things that are used as blinders or blockages or barriers or boundaries or binds or even academic degrees, ethical licensing.
Yeah.
Right. I'm a licensed professional clinical counselor, but for me, I tell people my L stands for liability. I'm a liable professional clinical counselor. That's all it means. Because I could have been helping people without this. Right. And so I'm trying to embrace the simplicity of a healer so that this chaotic world, because this world was chaotic because I had to be a therapist. It's not chaotic when I'm a healer, because I realize my work is in this. I am the order in this chaos. Right? That's how I help. And so even in this world, Mother Nature has provided everything we needed to live. And so the moment I lose the beauty of its simplicity, it becomes chaotic. And people have taken advantage of that. And like you said, that self-love, that's so important. If they just had a moment to understand what love really meant to them, they would own their own simplicity.
Yeah.
When I do my psychedelic integration work with clients, I have these CEOs and execs, and you know, and they come to this huge, grandiose awareness of that. I just want to be loved. It always comes down to loved, or I need myself back, or I miss myself, or they're grieving because they lost someone they loved. It always comes down to something about love. So then we have to work on the integration process, where I specialize in. And it's about teaching them how to learn to love themselves in 8 different ways. And so it's like the decluttering process is in the integration of self-love. And so I just think you're so phenomenal for just saying that up front, and just and let me witness you say that. Because I'm not saying my degrees are a bad thing, but it was cluttered so that I could represent something that I already am.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So when you said I could have healed without all of that, I felt that. And why I felt that, because I remember probably about 3 or 4 years ago, I was talking to this young lady. I went to go see her quite often, to give me messages and stuff like that. And I remember her saying to me, "You don't need nothing else. You don't need no certificates. You don't need to go back to school. You don't need to do anything else. You are more than qualified." That is what she told me. "You are more than qualified." As a matter of fact, folks gonna come to you. They ain't even got not about as much qualification that you do. So you walk in those rooms.
Mm.
And it took me a few years to get that, because I was still taking courses and classes and all that other stuff. And
Nothing wrong with learning. Nothing wrong with education.
yeah,
Right.
it was all, but what it was doing, it kind of was, that's where I had to build my own self-worth in that time, in that moment. You understand what I'm saying? In that, I had to believe that my journey, this was a school for me. Life is a school for all of us. It's all a learning lesson. And I've just been applying it. Even with the season of self-love. It started off with Ask Naomi, but even with the season of self-love, this has truly been an amazing journey for me.
Mm-hmm.
Just, the research that I do. And even if you saw me when I read the stuff, I'd be like, what? And then I had to go into it and really and do the things for myself. I would not give anything to y'all that I'm not doing for myself. And I have to live it authentically, because I know what it is that I want for me in my life. And I know what it feels like. I know, we had that conversation about self-love and spirituality. But for me, my self-love is my spirituality. My self-love, me tapping into my inner God that's within me. And that ain't got nothing, that's love there. You understand what I'm saying? That is unconditional love. So when you feel that, there's nothing else around you that can sway that. That's why that bus was able to go, and I'm looking at it and it going on. And that other car right in front of me and I'm
there's, I through my own healing process, I'm learning that the only thing that absolute is God, right? So that means that humans have to be conditional, right? And so when you learn the ability to have unconditional love, you're looking at the God within the people because you're willing to channel the God within yourself, right?
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
I was asked this question the other day, and she asked me, "Well, what do you call yourself? What do you do?" I said, "I don't have any labels. I don't have any labels. I don't have any label. I can tell you what I would love for people to be inspired, encouraged by my story. What lifts my spirits is, helping people. My thing is helping people to find who the God is within them, for
Mm-hmm.
they can be able to heal themselves. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm not no doctor. I'm not no lawyer. I'm not no preacher. I just be speaking, and I allow God
Mm-hmm.
to use me as a vessel. Sometimes I don't even remember some of the stuff that I say, and that's truth.
So this goes into this has my brain on fire. I'm excited about this conversation because now I'm looking at it changes the way you look at what entitlement is,
Mhm.
right? Changes that, right? When you are very clear about yourself and you're living and you have your inner peace, there's an entitlement to the way you hold your integrity of love, right? I know that my heart needs this to live. My heart deserves this to love. My heart needs this to be still. And people look on the outside and they're like, well, you ain't doing much. You ain't really out here. They don't see you performing your love. They don't see you performing self-love. You're just being that. And in a chaotic world, you have to continually look for the next thing. You have to get the next thing. You're on to the next thing. Always you have to outperform the other person. And so when I think of this entitlement, it's not about actually what you think you deserve. It's about knowing how much you are loved for being who you are. And a lot of times I don't think people really get a chance to really understand how much they love themselves. I've asked that many times in my sessions. Do you know how much you love yourself? And they don't know how to answer that. Why aren't you entitled enough to say infinitely? Why not give yourself that chance? Right? Why not be entitled enough to say, I love myself as much as God loves me? Or is that too much for them? And there's a lot of shame and guilt with being able to say that. So I'm curious, how would you feel with that type of question?
While when you were saying that, because, and you said it, okay, so I'm going to repeat what you said. You said we are spiritual beings living a human life.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to remember that I am human, a spiritual being in a human life, in this life. And so I have to understand that I've lived many lives. And I have to understand that those many lives have came into different parts of me. Remember, I'm not perfect. I'm nowhere near perfect. So I can be peaceful today for 10 days, 20 days, 30 days, 50 years. But because of my experience in life, because my experience, and hear me when I say my experience in life, it can be the smallest little thing can trigger that can rock my peace for that day. And so when me being entitled to anything,
Mm-hmm.
I live in the moment right now. And in that moment that I felt when I was in peace, actually I've been in peace for the past few days.
Mm.
I've been in peace for the past few days. And I'm not looking not to be,
Mm.
but I'm not, I'm not, well, I got
Yeah.
it, no, I'm living today. My thing was Thank you for my yesterdays. I wait patiently for my tomorrows. But today will be the best day ever. So that's why I got up. Me and my mama walked around the park. We had our little talk and stuff like that. We had our little laughs and our moments there. And you understand what I'm saying? So that,
Yeah.
it
I
helps
don't
with
think
my
I.
anxiety. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
I just when you say that, I don't think I've ever had to question my inner peace. And I think and that sounds so weird to say that because I'm extremely I'm always very peaceful. And so even when people annoy me or I get like upset about something, I don't even get to really even act it out because I become so understanding so quickly that it's like I'm supposed to be angry, but I'm like, oh, but I understand why I'm getting angry. So okay, well let's just enjoy this anger part right now. And so I don't get to actually like Hulk smash, right? I don't get to actually like go angry and become that because I've understood, because I'm so clear about why I'm experiencing what I'm embracing.
Mm-hmm.
When I understand why I'm experiencing what I'm embracing, the way I look at life is not even the same anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I sometimes I do envy the people that are able to just like be in their emotion and just live only that emotion, and then that's all they're feeling, because I'm like, I would love to experience my feeling in totality, but because I do so much recorrecting and redirecting work, the moment I feel it, I'm like, oh, okay, it's angry because of this, because I need this to do. Okay, well, I'll come back around. Like, I'll redirect it immediately rather than just feel it. And I think that I found that when people hold on to an emotion too long, it gets stale. Feelings are like fruit, right? At some point, it gets stale if you leave it out too long, right? And I think that's what I'm recognizing is that my fruit, I don't want my fruit to get stale. And so I've seen what happens to people when it takes too long. And then their life is more cluttered because that staleness just it starts building and spreads to other fruits.
Yeah.
And so I'm just curious, like it almost sounds like with your inner peace, you can actually share it with other people. I think that's really interesting.
Those that want it.
Yeah, that's a whole other conversation. But yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Those
right.
that want
Yeah,
it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Those that want it.
Mm.
That's what I learned, is those that want it. Don't force myself on nobody. Don't walk in rooms that I'm not supposed to be in. Don't do any of that. Because what is meant for you is meant for you. Who God aligns you with, He aligns you with that for a reason. And you understand what that reason is. And it's taken a long time to get here. And times I have to check myself. I do.
You're embracing simplicity though.
Yeah. Oh, it's like, oof. And I look at life like a picture now, like a beautiful artwork. I look outside my window, I see mountains, beautiful mountains. On one side of my mountains with snow on it. And then on the other side is beautiful with shades, from the clouds. And then you see the sun. And so everything is so picturesque to me. And even I watch it through my mom's eyes when she in the car with me and she riding, and she can see. We used to play this cloud game when I was younger, that the shapes of the clouds and what they are. And she always like the different clouds with the different shades that she sees something, and she does it within the mountains and stuff like that. So kind of putting on a different pair of glasses and seeing life differently. That's what my journey has allowed me to. And that's why I am not ashamed of my journey. I am not at all. I am so thankful and grateful for it and everybody who has come into my life, whether they love me or not.
I think that's the big growth part, because there are people that have left my life and I don't feel any way towards them, but they're going to use our story as the answer to everything else that's about to happen to them in their life. And it's so sad. Hmm? You said?
Got nothing to do with me. It ain't my business.
Oh, no.
See, that's how you declutter. That ain't my business.
Right. It's crazy because I just, because I recognize I'm like, they're going to use this story as a reason why they exist. And they're never going to find their inner peace.
I know
And then they're going to use that story to clutter.
Yeah,
And use that story to clutter and clutter. And then at one point, though, they're going to get tired. Because they're going to realize that the chaotic world was their world, not the world they were living in.
Yeah. And you know, when I say this, you really, Naomi, because you love, I love everybody. I love everybody. But what I also understand is that that's not my problem. That ain't about me. That's about their healing. I cannot heal them. I cannot give them a story. What they experience with me is what they got out of that experience. Like I got a different experience from that. You know what I'm saying? Like, period. There are people in my life that I probably will go back around and be like, you know, we've grown. And there's some people they can't.
But what I say, people, we talk about that. Everybody got a mental age, an emotional age, and a spiritual age.
Mm-hmm. You know, just, you know, when I say that in the past 10 years that things has truly been revealed to me, it has. And I went through that hurting time. I went through that point when that was a death of relationships. I cried. I did all of that. I'm in the healing process now. Now, can I be honest? Does some of them trigger back to me sometimes? Yeah, it do. But I go through it and I check in and say, girl, what did you tripping about? But then I say, because you're human. Even though, and I'm strengthening my spirituality. I'm strengthening my spiritual. Remember, I didn't have that. I didn't know how to feed it before. You know, so was nobody trying to teach me how to feed my spirit, who I am? Wasn't nobody doing no self-love, spiritual. Wasn't nobody doing that. They were giving me a Bible, telling me to read the scripture, know all the scriptures from the beginning to the end. That's it.
Yeah, and that's. But then for me, and a psychologist point, when I see spirituality, I hear spiritual health, which is the ability to make meaning. If you can't make meaning out of your life and the circumstances,
You know, what's the most disheartening thing when you see your loved ones just going through the motions?
Yeah.
Just going through the motions, and they looking at you like, wow, how you get there? You know you can come with me. You know you can be here too. Oh no, I don't want to shake that because I might not have A, B, C, and D.
And
but I hear A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
I had a whole issue with that with the family members where they would call me and they would ask like, oh no, we're gonna need your help more in the family because you're at this level now, and we need the help and all this, and I go, what did you do to help yourself first? And they're like, oh, it ain't like that, you gotta be be open about that. I'm like, look, what I went through to get to this place, what I suffered and sacrificed to get to this place, and what you did in your life to get to this place. We both made decisions. Regardless of the traumas, regardless of what our family members did. I'm here. But what I can offer you will mean nothing if you don't want it for yourself truly. And they haven't called me back in months. And I said I'd always be ready when you're genuinely ready to do this. But addiction is a real thing.
Yeah.
Right? And so I understand that it's going to be on their time, not mine. And when you realize that you're not on other people's time, you're on your time. it really allows you to understand the clarity, the value of clarity. Because when you are when you are cluttered, you think you're a part of things that you didn't even know you were a part of. You, I'm like, when was I the assistant? When I become the second role model? Like I'm not the main character, but somehow I became the sidekick. I'd be so mad. So like I really find this when I started finding inner peace, I started understanding what's really my story and what's not.
Yeah.
And it made my life more simple because I realized that I didn't do much other than appreciate the world I lived in.
Yeah.
I'm more sensitive about things.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just appreciate the way that you just explain these things, and it really aligns with my willingness to clutter, right? Like, why did I make clutter? Right? Why did you make clutter? Or did you even know you made clutter? A lot of us don't even realize that we made clutter. Right? And so by the time we have to declutter, it's too late. Right?
Is it too late?
Well, it's never too late until you're dead.
Right. As long as you're on this earth breathing, there's always time.
Yeah. And there's no better time than now. I have some of my clients, a lot can happen between now and never.
It sure can. And this the listeners out here. I know we never did this before. I know you see the commercials. Y'all see the commercials and stuff like that with Dr. Will. But definitely, I mean, this is something that you all can do one-on-one with him and have these conversations with him. I do it too, but if you all feel comfortable with him, you go there and where he can sit and talk to you and listen to you and really help you, like, truly. Yeah, I know his website. It's out there. Say your website for him so they can know. We don't never do this. We don't ever promote ourselves.
We never do. This is my first time. I was like, I forgot my website. I was like, let me think real quick. Like, I paid for it, but I had to think about this real quick. I was like, oh yeah, I love thinking about the commercial you put on. Yeah, WashingtonWellnessInstitute.org. That's a nice commercial. Yeah, WashingtonWellnessInstitute.org. And my thing is that I created a model that focuses on taking your life and putting it in simply 8 different ways. I can adjust your life in 8 different ways. And I'll teach you 3 ways how to live that life. So that gives you a total of 24 different ways and things you can do on a weekly basis. So it's amazing how something as simple as me learning your story can completely adjust that. We should do an intake sometime on a live, and we could do a whole model and go through it. We should do it sometime.
Yeah, you had said that before. You had said that before.
We should do it. Yeah, free, completely free. Yeah, no cost at all.
You said free. Yeah.
Yeah, the self-love discount. Yeah. Love it. Yeah, I can't put a price on the heart.
Well, thank you, Dr. Will. No, seriously, thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Will. This was good. This was a good one. Yeah.
It was peaceful, and I just loved. I just honestly, like, I wanted to say so much about this topic, but the way that you framed it was such a holistic foundation. So I was like, yeah. And it made me just question more. I was like, nah, I'm getting curious. And I was just, because I think that, I hope that your listeners really took what you said to heart, because you really just gave the first 3 steps into clarity and how to sit in inner peace. So I really hope they watched this to Italian and wrote down what you were saying. I really do. I'm gonna try it out too. So I'm gonna try it out. So if they don't do it, I'm gonna do it. So.
Well, as always, it's always good. It is. We have these great conversations here. Yes, these
Yes.
conversations
Yes.
here. But remember, the whole month of April is all about these affirmations. It is.
Mm.
And I'm excited. Tomorrow's show is going to be a great show. That is the one with mindful eating, and I break it down in a different
Ooh.
way. Yes,
Mm.
it's opened up a whole new project for me, y'all. People, it truly
Change
has.
my waistline. Change
Yeah.
my waistline. Change my waistline, girl. 'Cause Dr. Will need to look good on this beach.
Mhm.
Look good.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely is. Like I just gotta get out there and like I got attacked by some fire ants. So I have to
Oh my God.
yeah, so tomorrow I'm gonna go get some stuff because the first they said about some boiled water. You know what we were on this talking, y'all. Yeah, some boiled water. So let me do this. Let me close this out. See now you know
You
this
got
some
first
real
you
stuff.
got first aid podcast now. You first aid too. This is great. What can't you do? This is great. This is
All right,
awesome.
my listeners, I'm sorry. We're gonna talk off of this about the fire ant. But again, I thank you all for just sharing this moment and this time with myself and Dr. Will here. Um, it's all about affirmation this year. And remember what I told you about this whole entire year. This is about us dominating in every aspect of our lives. And that's why it's so very important for us in the month of April as we continue to, sow our seeds and put them in and watch them as they bloom. Continue to keep doing that. And that's within ourselves. All right. So have a good one. I see y'all tomorrow. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to the Season of Self-Love podcast. And we hope that you enjoyed this fun filled with inspiration, empowerment, and self-discovery. Remember, practicing self-love is a journey and not a destination. For more information and to stay connected with us, visit our website at theseasonofselflovepodcast.com. And if you have any suggestions or questions or feedback, feel free to shoot us an email at seasonofselflove@gmail.com. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook for daily doses of self-love tips, motivation, and community support. So join our Facebook group, The Season of Self-Love, to connect with like-minded individuals on their journey to self-discovery and self-compassion. Thank you again for being a part of our community and dedicating to nurturing self-love and embracing self-worth. So stay tuned for more exciting episodes and guests in the next season. And remember, you are worthy of love, kindness, and all the happiness in the world. So until next time, take care of yourself and spread love wherever you go. See you soon.